Gold Roger, the legendary king of the pirates, was finally captured and executed by the world government. But in his final moments, he left the world with a spark of madness and wonder. He spoke of a treasure, the greatest ever known, hidden somewhere in the vast Grand Line. That treasure was called One Piece. His dying words ignited dreams across the seas and stirred countless hearts to set sail in search of it. And just like that, the great pirate era was born. Luffy starts his pirate journey in peak pirate fashion, trapped in a barrel like misdelivered cargo. Some unlucky sailors on a cruise ship pop the lid and get more than they bargained for. Before they can deal with it, they're attacked by Alvida, a pirate captain with the charm of a sledgehammer and the grace of a wrecking ball. She blows up their sails and sends her goons to loot the place. Meanwhile, a mystery girl ninja walks onto Alvida's ship to do some thieving of her own. In the kitchen, Alvida's chore boy Kobe finds Luffy napping in the barrel like it's a 5-star hotel. Luffy wakes up, stretches like a rubber band because he literally is one, and beats up the pirates as casually as scratching an itch. Over snacks, Kobe spills his tragic backstory, kidnapped, scrubbing decks, and dreaming of joining the Marines. Luffy, barrel boy turned rubber wrecking ball, is heading for the Grand Line in search of the legendary One Piece. Alvida crashes their snack session, wielding a spiked club and the confidence of someone who's never been punched by rubber. Luffy isn't impressed. One stretchy punch Gamu Gamu no pistol. Later, Alvida goes airborne like Team Rocket, and the ship is free. Luffy and Kobe peace out on a dinghy, crossing paths with the sneaky thief girl. With the open sea ahead, Luffy's got 2 goals: find the One Piece and recruit the fearsome pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro. Game on. Luffy and Kobe roll into Shell's Town, a marine base that's basically a dictatorship in cosplay. They find their man, Roronoa Zoro, crucified in the yard like a goth lawn ornament. A brave little girl, Rika, sneaks in to offer him onigiri, but in comes Helmeppo, the local spoiled brat with a punchable face, who stomps the rice and acts like he owns the place because, unfortunately, his tyrant dad does. Turns out the town's ruled by Captain Morgan, a narcissist so self-obsessed he's building a statue of himself on the roof. Rika spills the tea. Helmeppo once brought a wolf to a bar, and when Zoro protected the customers, he got tricked into turning himself in. His reward: crucifixion. Classic marine justice. When Helmeppo finally confesses, like the spoiled sniveling weasel he is, that he never planned to keep his word and was going to kill Zoro anyway, Luffy doesn't just get mad. Oh no, my stretchy boy goes full rubber rage mode. 1 second Helmeppo's monologuing like a budget Bond villain, and the next, smack, Luffy sends him flying so hard, the man probably landed in the blooper reel of another anime. Hope he packed a parachute and some humility. But Luffy's not done. Fueled by fury and probably a healthy dose of chaos energy, he bounces, yes, literally springboards, his way up to the rooftop where Captain Morgan is still busy admiring his glorious statue. Luffy accidentally crash lands right into it and reduces the thing to rubble. One thing's for sure, Morgan's statue got the same treatment as his authority, flattened by a rubbery wrecking ball with a straw hat and zero chill. Luffy kidnaps Helmeppo as one does, hunts down Zoro's swords, and causes absolute chaos. Meanwhile, the mysterious thief girl from before is now robbing the Marines blind. The girl's got ambition. Back outside, Kobe tries to free Zoro but gets caught. Morgan, being extra as always, orders a firing squad. Just before things get bullet why, Luffy swoops in and blocks the shots with his rubber body like it's no big deal. Zoro's freedom, loading. Morgan's ego, crumbling. Luffy tosses Zoro his katanas like it's a dramatic anime weapon drop because it is, and Zoro slices himself free with pure main character energy. He promises to join Luffy's crew if he survives the chaos. Spoiler, he survives. Morgan, still rocking that overcompensation axe arm, orders his scared stiff Marines to keep fighting, because clearly logic isn't part of Marine training. Morgan steps into the fight, thinking he's the final boss. But Luffy's rubber punches and Zoro's sword tornado quickly prove otherwise. Things take a turn when Helmeppo grabs Kobe and threatens to shoot. Luffy's response? A punch so clean it rearranges Helmeppo's family tree. Zoro then finishes Morgan with a neat little slice, proving once again, don't bring a corrupt ego to a sword fight. The Marines finally grow a spine and arrest Morgan themselves, probably relieved to be rid of their gym-addicted dictator. Later, the trio heads to a restaurant for post-battle carbs. Kobe nerds out about the world map. There's the Red Line, the Grand Line, and the Gold Roger made everyone's lives harder by hiding treasure at the very end situation. Captain Ripper, the new guy in charge, shows up. He agrees to let Kobe join the Marines, but tells Luffy and Zoro to get lost nicely. Since they're pirates, they leave without drama, just vibes. Meanwhile, our sneaky girl thief is back, hunting down a map of the Grand Line, only to learn it's been stolen by the one and only clown menace, Buggy. Out at sea, our slick thief girl pulls off a pirate-level Uber scam, pretending to be a helpless damsel to lure Buggy's crew into her dinghy. While they dream of treasure, she hops onto their ship and sails off like a queen. Moments later, nature finishes the job and capsizes their boat with a dramatic windstorm. Elsewhere, Luffy and Zoro are peacefully sailing until Luffy's prized straw hat goes flying. Zoro heroically grabs it, and we dive into backstory mode. As a kid, Luffy admired Shanks, a chill pirate who treated bar fights like comedy nights. One day, Luffy snacks on Shanks' rare devil fruit whoops, gaining rubber powers but losing the ability to swim. Great trait for a pirate, right? Trouble strikes when mountain thug Higuma kidnaps Luffy and tosses him into the sea like unwanted cargo. A Sea King shows up, eats Higuma like a snack, and almost goes for dessert Luffy, but Shanks saves him, at the cost of his arm. Before leaving for the Grand Line, Shanks gives Luffy his iconic straw hat, asking him to return it when he becomes a great pirate. Fast forward. A bird straight up kidnaps Luffy mid-conversation and flies off like it's a cartoon. The leftover Buggy pirates try stealing Zoro's boat, but get cut down like budget NPCs. They warn Zoro, Buggy's a devil fruit-wielding menace. Meanwhile, Bird Luffy crash lands right into Buggy's circus of madness and meets our thief girl, now stuck running from Buggy's goons with a stolen Grand Line map. What could go wrong? Our sneaky thief finally introduces herself as Nami, a pirate-hating kleptomaniac with GPS skills and a goal to hoard 100 million berries for mysterious reasons. After a brief team-up with Luffy to escape Buggy's circus crew, they take a breather at a restaurant where Nami drops 2 bombshells. She's a master navigator, and she absolutely does not do loyalty. Proving her point, Nami betrays Luffy faster than you can say trust issues, tying him up and handing him to Buggy like a gift-wrapped punching bag. Buggy, a full-blown clown with an explosive personality literally, locks Luffy in a cage and flexes his over-the-top firepower. A buggy ball that turns an entire block of buildings into ashes. Zoro sees the chaos from afar like, yeah, that's definitely my captain. Buggy tells Nami to blast Luffy with a buggy ball. Nami hesitates, turns out she has a soul, and when another goon lights the fuse, she bare hand slaps it out, burning herself in the process. Respect. Buggy's crew goes full clown mob, but Zoro charges in with his usual no-patience energy. He slices Buggy like a party balloon, but surprise! Buggy ate the Barabara no Mai, making him a human jigsaw puzzle. He detaches his limbs like it's normal and stabs Zoro from behind. Rude. Wounded but still dramatic, Zoro aims the cannon at the clown crew while Nami lights it. Boom. Justice is served, hot, flaming, and clown-flavored. Luffy's stuck in a cage. Zoro's wounded, and Nami's probably rethinking her life choices. Enter Beast Tamer Moji, Buggy's wannabe badass first mate, riding a giant lion named Richie like it's a circus audition. Meanwhile, a heroic little dog named Chowchu is guarding a pet food store like it's Fort Knox. Why? Because his owner passed away, and this loyal fluffball isn't letting a single dog treat go missing. Zoro, half dead, drags Luffy's metal prison to safety, only for Nami to show up with the key, too late. Chowchu straight up eats it like a Scooby snack. Thanks, buddy. Moji finds Luffy, roars some threats, and orders Richie to wreck him. Instead, Richie smashes the cage and accidentally frees Luffy. Big mistake. Moji then launches Luffy into a house rude, and Richie loots and torches Chowchu's beloved store. Chaochu puts up a brave fight, but it's Luffy who avenges the doggo, launching Moji and Richie into next week and giving Chaochu the last box of pet food like a proper anime hero. Moji limps back to Buggy with his L-shaped report card. Buggy, being the extra clown he is, fires a buggy ball straight at the town, blowing up the mayor's house, with Zoro still inside. Fortunately, Zoro's too tough to be fazed by something as minor as cannon fire. The mayor, fed up, grabs his pitchfork. Nami, now officially tired of clown nonsense, joins Luffy and Zoro for a temporary team-up. Mayor Boodle, high on bravery and low on survival instincts, charges into battle, so Luffy clocks him unconscious for his own good. Just in time, too, because Buggy fires another oversized circus cannonball. Luffy rubber deflects it like a volleyball, launching it right back at Buggy's crew. The result? Explosive clown carnage. Buggy survives by hiding behind his own crew great leadership, and his acrobat sidekick Kabaji survives by sacrificing poor Richie the lion. Cold. Kabaji, looking like a circus reject on a unicycle, challenges the Straw Hats. Zoro steps up, still bleeding from earlier, because sleep and self-care are for later. Kabaji fights dirty, targeting Zoro's wound and flipping around like a dollar store Cirque du Soleil act. But Zoro's done playing games. He unleashes Onigiri, slices Kabaji like a cheap piñata, and promptly knocks out. From exhaustion. Legend. Meanwhile, Nami ditches the boys' smart move and sneaks into the pub, knocks out a clueless pirate, and cracks open a chest containing the Grand Line map. Back outside, it's Luffy versus Buggy, Rubber Boy versus Detachable Clown. Buggy's body parts play keep away with Luffy's punches until Buggy makes the mistake of damaging Luffy's precious straw hat and even skewers it with 3 knives. Bad idea. Luffy explains the hat's emotional value, and Buggy counters with his tragic clown villain origin, a bitter grudge against Shanks. Why? Because Shanks apparently ruined Buggy's life. Probably by laughing at his nose. Buggy finally spills his tragic clown backstory. Turns out he and Shanks were once baby pirates on the same crew. During a raid, Buggy finds a treasure map and a devil fruit. Being the scheming little jester he is, he makes a genius plan. Fake eat the fruit, stash the real one, sell both, and bounce. But surprise, Shanks being a bro ruins everything by catching him mid-escape, causing Buggy to actually eat the fruit and become a living jigsaw puzzle. Then, to top it off, the wind steals his map like it's in a cartoon. Buggy's dreams? Sunk literally. Back in the present, Nami's making her smooth getaway with Buggy's loot, but the clown isn't done. He goes full Bara Bara festival mode, breaking apart like glitter at a rave, trying to catch her. But Luffy, the human wrecking ball, steps in. With Nami tying up Buggy's limbs like a failed party balloon, Luffy sends him rocketing into the sky with a Gamu Gamu no bazooka. Bye, Buggy. No refunds. Nami hands over the Grand Line map, keeps the gold, and agrees to tag along for the money, of course. But Luffy, the walking chaos engine, leaves the treasure behind so the townsfolk can rebuild. Nami, screaming internally. The townspeople, blaming the wrong Pirates Classic, charge the crew, but Chaochu the MVP doggo stops them. Mayor Boodle wakes up, sees the town clown free, and thanks them as they sail away. Needing a proper ship because rowing into the Grand Line on a dinghy is a death wish, the crew heads to Syrup Village. There, local prankster Usopp yells, "Pirates," one too many times, and the villagers basically speedrun the boy out of town. But plot twist. Real pirates have arrived. It's Luffy's crew, and one of Usopp's mini sidekicks rats them out. Usopp tries to scare the crew off with fake threats and theatrical nonsense, but Luffy's got nonsense immunity. Instead of being fooled, Luffy recognizes him as the son of Yasopp, one of Shanks' sharpshooters. Usopp's bluffing ends, and they head to the fanciest place in town, the big mansion on the hill. There lives Kaya, a kind, sickly girl with a trust fund and a dead parent's backstory. She's protected red, micromanaged by her butler Klahadore, who looks like he hasn't smiled since birth. Despite Usopp being her only source of happiness, Klahadore slams the metaphorical door on him, calling him a no-good village nuisance. Usopp, being Usopp, still sneaks in and the Straw Hats follow like it's a field trip. Clayhador catches them all red-handed and is about as thrilled as a cat in a bath. He gives Major "you're all beneath me" energy. Meanwhile, on the edge of town, a man enters moonwalking like he's late for a disco, but with creepy vibes. Yeah, something's definitely off. Clayhador aka Butler Buzzkill shuts down the Straw Hats' request for a ship like he's allergic to kindness. Then he turns his petty rage cannon on Usopp, dragging his pirate dad through the mud and calling Yasopp a criminal, bold words from a guy with actual skeletons in his closet. Usopp snaps and swings on him, which ends about as well as you'd expect. Clayhador throws the whole squad off the property like bad Wi-Fi, telling them to never come back. Inside, Kaya's crying in her bedroom like it's a Victorian drama, and Clayhador slips into caretaker mode. He recounts how he was a washed-up ex-crewman who Kaya's dad graciously took in. Since then, he's been devoted to the family, but his guardian act is more shady than sweet. Kaya forgives him anyway, because apparently gaslighting comes with a butler's uniform. Meanwhile, Zoro and Nami are babysitting the Usopp pirates aka Chaos Goblins. One of them stumbles on the creepiest moonwalker since Michael Jackson Django, a self-proclaimed hypnotist. He swings his disco chakram, puts the kids to sleep, and accidentally knocks himself out too. A professional. Elsewhere, Luffy and Usopp have a bro moment talking about Yasopp until they spot Clayhador having a secret cliffside chat with Mr. Hypno Fail himself. And plot twist, Clayhador is actually Captain Kuro of the Black Cat Pirates. His grand plan: use hypnosis to get Kaya to write him into her will, then off her for the inheritance. Peak evil mustache twirling energy. We learn Kuro faked his own death, using a poor decoy who got executed in his place. Cold. Django knocks Luffy out with hypnosis again, sending him face first off a cliff. They let Usopp go, confident no one would believe his warning. Joke's on them, he's the town liar. Usopp sprints back to town, desperate to save Kaya and the village. Back on the cliffside, Zoro and Nami go searching for their rubber captain, and find Luffy snoozing peacefully at the bottom like it's a beach day, not a murder plot. After waking him up shockingly unharmed, Luffy spills the tea about Clayhador's real identity, Captain Kuro of the Black Cat Pirates, and his plan to assassinate Kaya for her inheritance. Meanwhile, Usopp's sprinting into town like the apocalypse is coming because it is, trying to warn the villagers. But unsurprisingly, the boy who cried pirate gets zero credibility. Instead of listening, they chase him out like he's hosting a prank show. Desperate, Usopp bolts to Kaya's mansion to warn her directly. But she doesn't buy it either after all. Sweet Clayhador has been like family since forever. Usopp pleads with her to leave, but the mansion guards intercept, and Kaya herself slaps him across the face for trying to scare her. Salt in the wound. Kaya's loyal butler Mary literally shoots Usopp in the arm. And just when you think it can't get worse, the angry mob from town keeps the pressure on. Meanwhile, Kuro casually reunites with his pirate crew, sipping villain vibes as he orders them to obliterate the entire village the next day. You know, nothing too dramatic. Wounded and defeated, Usopp retreats to the edge of the village. The Straw Hats meet him there. Even the kids, his so-called Usopp pirates, walk away disappointed, thinking he lied again. But Luffy and the crew, they've seen enough. They believe him. And more than that, they're ready to throw hands. The Straw Hats and Usopp join forces, preparing to defend Syrup Village from the Chaos. Kuro's crew is about to unleash. War is coming, and the Straw Hats are about to crash the party. With Syrup Village on the line, the Straw Hat crew gets to work. Knowing there's only one main path into the village, the narrow, sloped trail at the south, they set a trap. Slathering it in oil, they prepare to stop the Black Cat Pirates before they can even set foot in the village. Meanwhile, Kuro, still masquerading as the loyal butler Clayhador, returns to Kaya's mansion. There, he finds a heartfelt gift from Kaya, custom glasses meant to stop his frames from slipping. In a chilling moment, he crushes the gift beneath his boot and drops the act. Mary walks in, just in time to witness Kuro's transformation. With steel claws extending from his fingers, Kuro slashes Mary without hesitation and then strolls into Kaya's room to watch her sleep like a true villain. At sunrise, Django and the Black Cat pirates land on the island. But they're not dumb. They dodge the booby-trapped slope and sneak in through a second northern path Usopp totally forgot about. Panic mode activated. Luffy, Nami, and Usopp dash to the north entrance. Zoro, still hilariously slipping on the oil-slicked slope. Luffy, of course, manages to get lost on his way there. Classic. At the north, Usopp snipes a few enemies with his trusty slingshot and even tries bribing the pirates with treasure from their ship. But Nami shows up just in time to stop that bad idea. Unfortunately, numbers win. Usopp and Nami are overwhelmed. Just as things get dire, Zoro finally climbs his way free, and Luffy finds his way back. The tide turns. Back at the mansion, Kuro grows impatient. Sensing something's off, he heads to the North Shore himself, deadly calm, quietly furious, and promises, if his crew messes this up, he'll kill every last one of them himself. War is officially on. Back at Kaya's mansion, her young friends try to sneak in through Usopp's secret entrance, but it's been sealed. The mansion gates are too high to climb, leaving them helpless. Inside, Kaya wakes and finds Mary bleeding on the floor. With his last bit of strength, he confirms what Usopp had warned all along. Klahadore is no butler, he's the infamous Captain Kuro, and he's after Kaya's inheritance. Meanwhile, on the North Shore, the battle intensifies. Luffy and Zoro are holding their ground against the Black Cat pirates until Django steps in. Using hypnosis, Django powers up his crew, making them monstrously strong enough to shatter cliffs with a single punch. But in the process, he accidentally hypnotizes Luffy too. Supercharged, Luffy goes wild, easily demolishing the pirate horde and even ripping the entire bow off their ship. Django quickly hypnotizes Luffy to sleep again, and while Luffy collapses, the ship's falling bow crashes down, crushing most of the enemy pirates beneath it. In a desperate move, Django calls out the Nyaban brothers, Sham and Buchai. At first, they seem like comic relief, cowardly and clumsy. But it's all an act. They catch Zoro off guard, and Sham steals 2 of his swords, forcing him to fight with just one. Usopp tries to help with his slingshot, but tragically hits Zoro instead, leaving him open to a brutal slash across the chest from the brothers. Nami jumps in, trying to return Zoro's swords, but Django intercepts her. With a flash of his chakram, he slices Nami's shoulder, knocking her down. Just then, dread falls over the battlefield. The Black Cat pirates freeze. Kuro has arrived. His plan in shambles and his patience gone. The cold-blooded captain is ready to take matters and lives into his own hands. Django and the Black Cat pirates are shaking in their boots as Kuro shows up. Furious, his elite crew got clowned by a bunch of kids. When he demands answers, Django reminds him he said Usopp was harmless. Kuro grumbles about Usopp's uselessness but didn't account for his crew being even more useless. Sham and Buchai, offended, puff up their chests like wet cats and charge at Kuro. Bad idea. Kuro casually vanishes and reappears with his cat claws. Zoro and even Nami are like, okay, that's kinda cool. Django identifies the move. Nukiashi, Kuro's teleporty murder flex. Sham and Buchai get humbled real quick. Meanwhile, Nami, bleeding but badass, kicks Zoro's swords over like she's punting a football. Zoro thanks her slightly insulted, then wrecks the Nyaban brothers with Toragari. Kuro keeps counting down like a psychopath with a stopwatch. Buchai, still breathing somehow, begs Django to hypnotize him into a beast. It works. He gets swole like anime Hulk. Zoro stays chill and squares up. Meanwhile, Nami wakes up Luffy by stomping on his face. He wakes up annoyed, but just in time to chomp Django's deadly pendulum like it's beef jerky. Luffy and Zoro scare the pirates so badly, they consider retirement. Kuro declares the countdown over, time to kill everyone. But Kaya pulls a reverse Uno with a pistol. Kuro plays the manipulative villain card, disarms her, and almost kills Usopp, until Luffy punches him into the ground, swearing he's about to ruin this man's entire career. Kaya and the kids are on the run through the forest, trying to escape Django, aka Hypno Michael Jackson with a blade. But Kaya, being the classic fragile rich girl, collapses because apparently cardio wasn't part of her morning routine. The kids try a dramatic ambush with a fake surrender, a few sticks, and a falling log straight out of a Looney Tunes episode. Django brushes it off like a mosquito bite and threatens to kill them all. Kaya, panicking, agrees to sign the will if he spares the kids. Classic villain bargain. Just as Django's about to go full psycho, Zoro and Usopp finally arrive. Late, but at least they showed up. Better than most anime side characters. Meanwhile, at the northern coast, Kuro's having a meltdown and decides the best way to ensure silence is murdering his entire crew. Trust issues. Much. He pulls out his shakushi technique, a wild blender mode move where he slashes everything in sight, hoping Luffy catches a blade or two. Problem is, he ends up butchering his own men more than Luffy. Friendly fire. More like psychopath fire. Luffy's not having a good time either. Kuro's so fast he looks like a haunted ceiling fan. Still, Luffy refuses to back down, even while taking hits. It's a full-blown boss battle now, minus the health bar, but definitely with high-stakes drama and unintentional team kills on Kuro's side. Kuro tries his blender mode shakushi again, but Luffy's had enough of this anime speedster nonsense. Using his rubber body, he locks Kuro down and launches a Gamu Gamu no Cane, a brutal headbutt that cracks Kuro's glasses and his pride. Cold and humiliated, Kuro gets dragged off as Luffy tells the remaining Black Cat pirates to pack their bags and never come back. Meanwhile, Zoro and Usopp come in clutch to save Kaya. Zoro slices a tree branch, and Usopp fires off his Hisatsu, Kyakuboshi, basically a firecracker to the face, which blasts Django into the next episode. Not wanting street cred or small town fame, Usopp begs the kids to keep his heroics under wraps. Humble king behavior. After some emotional farewells, Usopp tells the kids he's off to chase real pirate dreams and disbands his mini-pirate crew. They're devastated, but he tells them to follow their own paths, not just chase his. As thanks, Kaya gifts Luffy's crew a whole dang ship, the Going Merry, courtesy of the butler designer Mary. They accept it gratefully and also bring Usopp on board as their newest Straw Hat member. Later, Kaya chats with Mary, who spills Usopp's tragic backstory. His dad, Yasopp, dipped to join Shanks, and his mom died soon after. Alone and hurting, Usopp turned to lying, not for mischief, but for hope that his dad might return. And now, the kids take over as the new town liars, clearly inspired by their chaotic, lovable captain. Out at sea, Luffy decides the crew needs a Jolly Roger, but his drawing skills are so bad, it looks like a cursed emoji. Thankfully, Usopp steps in to clean it up and paints the final version on the sail like a true artsy pirate. Nami spots the fabled island of rare animals up ahead, rumored to be stuffed with treasure and protected by gods aka more weirdos. Naturally, the crew docks immediately to loot it. Instead of treasure, they're greeted by freaky hybrid animals and some guy shouting about being a god. His traps are more DIY fail than divine wrath. When he tries to flee, the crew easily catches him. No gods, just Gaiman, a guy who's been stuck in a treasure chest for 20 years. Talk about commitment issues. Luffy instantly vibes with him because of course he does, but Gaiman warns them. The Grand Line is a horror show. He shares his sad tale. He came to the island years ago chasing treasure, but after finally spotting some atop a cliff, he fell into an empty chest and got stuck. His crew ditched him, and he's been there ever since. Luffy scales the cliff to check out the treasure, only to find nothing. Just 5 empty boxes. Luffy invites Gaiman to join the crew, but Gaiman declines. He's made peace with the island and its weird animal squad. The crew sails off again, Luffy grinning, Gaiman finally free in spirit, but still literally stuck in a box. While digging around the ship, Luffy finds a box of cannonballs, so obviously, he and Usopp do the mature thing and start blasting them at random rocks. Meanwhile, Zoro does what he does best, naps. But even in sleep, this guy's grinding. He dreams about his childhood in Shimotsuki Village, where he was a dojo crashing menace aka Dajoyaberry, picking fights with grown men like a mini-boss battle. One day, he challenges Kushiru's dojo and gets his ego crushed by Kuina, the sensei's daughter. As punishment and humiliation, he joins the dojo. Zoro trains like a madman and can eventually beat the adults, but Kuina, she still hands him L's on the daily. 2,000 times to be exact. Finally, he challenges her with real swords. Spoiler, still loses. Cueing events about how being a woman might stop her from becoming the world's greatest swordsman. Zoro, outraged, makes a promise. They'll both train until one of them is the best. Unfortunately, Kuina dies from falling downstairs seriously, and Zoro is devastated. He vows to carry their dream forward, and Kushiru gifts him Kuina's treasured katana, Wado Ikemanji. Zoro trains for 8 more years and eventually becomes a feared pirate hunter. Back in the present, Luffy blows up a rock with the cannon, probably proud like he saved the world. But when they head to the kitchen for snacks, they're ambushed by Johnny, Zoro's old buddy, who's convinced they've murdered someone. Typical day on the Going Merry. Johnny shows up swinging accusations. Turns out Luffy's cannonball target practice hit a rock where Johnny's partner, Yosaku, was resting. Johnny thinks it was a deliberate attack, but let's be honest, expecting Luffy to aim is giving him way too much credit. Yosaku is sick, so the crew brings him aboard. Nami quickly diagnoses him with scurvy. Yep, the classic pirate disease caused by lack of vitamin C. Lime juice saves the day, and Yosaku is off to nap it off. This health scare makes the crew realize they're one poorly planned meal away from disaster. They need a cook, stat. So, it's off to the Barity, an ocean restaurant on a boat. Unfortunately, they pull up just as Marine Lieutenant Fullbody is trying to impress his date. But instead of keeping it classy, Fullbody orders his men to blow up the Straw Hat's ship. Luffy, being Luffy, bounces the cannonball back, right into the Barity's roof, blowing a massive hole in it and injuring head chef Zeph. No cash for repairs. Zeph slaps Luffy with a 1-year dishwashing sentence. No negotiations. No refunds. Meanwhile, Fullbody tries to fake a bug in his soup to embarrass the staff, but Sue's chef Sanji isn't having it. When Fullbody flips the table and ruins the food, Sanji goes full Muay Thai Gordon Ramsay and kicks some respect into him. The kitchen goes loud. The Marines come in, and things are about to get spicier than Sanji's special curry.